What's going on, guys? I'm Daniel. You're on Hustle Every Day, and today we are taking a second look at the Chinese loader called the Land Hero. I want to give you a little walkthrough of how this thing works, give you a demonstration. My last video, I didn't give a great demonstration, so we do have some rock over here. I figured it'd be a great opportunity, but before we do that, let me give you a quick rundown of this machine, and then we'll go from there. All right, so here she is. This is the Land Hero. Now, it does say it has a USA-based website, service at usalandhero.com, but I can tell you without a doubt that these things come straight from China. Now, moving on from there, I want to talk a little bit about the motor. It is a gas-powered 7 horsepower 212cc motor, but don't worry that it's not going to be enough power because all the motor does is run the hydraulic system. Down in there is your hydraulic pump, and everything on this runs from that hydraulic pump. All that 7 horsepower motor does is run that pump. So it's almost like a pressure washer where the motor runs the pump and then the pump is what creates the pressure. So moving on from there, take a quick look at the tracks. They are not the biggest tracks I've ever seen, but they are tracks. They do what they're supposed to do, and they get me through some mild terrain, bumps and hills and yards. And I have to say, for as small as they are, they really do a good job. If you look at how it's built, I mean, for what it is, for under $3,500, it's actually built quite well. You can see the mounting and the nuts and the bolts are all quite large. The bucket is pretty heavy duty steel, along with the shovel. It's not chintzy. I mean, it's pretty heavy duty steel. I do believe it will hold up. Obviously, you can see some of the powder coatings coming off, but even your $500,000 tractors lose a little bit of their paint every now and then. So not too worried about that. Moving on to the controls, it's really pretty simple. This controls your shovel. This controls the bucket. I'll show you how that works in a moment. And much like a zero-turn mower, this makes you go right, this makes you go left, that makes you go forward, and that makes you go back. So really all pretty easy in terms of the controls. You have your throttle right here. Throttles it up and down. Once we get it started, I'll show you that. Right here we have an hour meter, pretty simple. Nothing special, just your basic analog hour meter, but it does show you the hours that you have used the machine. And other than that, there's really not a whole lot more to the machine. You do have your platform that you stand on. It is a nice large platform. You can see I wear a size 11.5 shoe, and there is plenty of room. If you do not want to use the platform, you can just fold it up and hook it right there. Bring this with one hand. The hook goes down, the platform is up, so you can also walk behind the machine if you'd like. Now, keep in mind, I'm not sponsored by this company, and I'm not necessarily recommending this machine. I've just had a lot of people ask me questions about it while I'm out and about using it, so I figured this would be a great opportunity just to show you guys what it's all about. If you own a landscaping business and you maybe don't have a lot of money, or you're trying to get started, but you want something to help you move a little bit quicker and help you make a little bit better money, this could be a really good investment. Because this thing cost me around $3,000. I bought it off someone. But if you try to buy an actual front loader, I mean, you're looking at $12, $15, $20 plus $1,000, and that's on the low end. So if you can get something like this and spend $3,000 to $4,000, you're going to make your money back really, really quick. Your average rock job like this is going to pay $1,500, and it's not a lot of work. My guy and I will have this done in an hour and a half. That's 3 cubic yards of rock. You do a couple of those, and you've pretty much got you've got your machine paid off. So in my opinion, this is a good buy. It's already paid for itself multiple times around, and I've only had it for a couple of years. So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy with it. Now, with that said, let's go ahead and flip the camera around. I'm going to put this thing to use and just give you a little demonstration of how it works, because it is a little bit different than your typical loader, I guess, but you'll see what I mean. Stay tuned. We'll get this thing going. All right, so starting it is going to be like your basic 7 horsepower motor, any small gas engine. It's pretty much a Honda clone. You have your on and off switch right here. and you have a pull cord. Would be nice if it had a key start, but we can't ask too much for $3,000. So let's go ahead and flip it on. Pretty much always starts on the first pull. It seems to run really, really well. Pull. Now when you're picking up the rock, drop your shovel, move forward into it. Not easy. Now these are pretty small shovel loads. You can go a lot bigger. Of a large loader, you know, it's not going to do the same work as a large, you know, John Deere or Toro loader or something like that, but it is so much quicker and so much easier than shoveling it by hand and breaking your back. Once in a while, a rock will get stuck in between the shovel and that. It doesn't do it with mulch. It doesn't do it with a lot of other materials, but with this larger river rock, it has a tendency to do that, which is why there's a couple little dents in the shovel. But again, it's not a big deal. It's a machine for work, and it does what it's supposed to do. It's not going to be perfect. It's from China. It. We're full. I'm gonna go lay some reed barrier down over here. I'll be right back. I'll show you what it looks like when we're dumping it. All right, and as you can hear when it's throttled down, it's really quite quiet. So, you know, if you don't want to constantly shut it off if you're doing something quick, throttling it down really is a nice feature. And it, like I said, it keeps it pretty quiet so you're not bugging the neighbors. So let's go ahead. We'll get up here to this reed barrier we laid, and I'll show you exactly how the rock dumping aspect of this works.
So let's see if we can edit it out. Big line.
All right, so that's a quick little rundown of my Chinese loader. I'm sure there's gonna be some haters out there that say it sucks, it's from China, it's only a 7 horsepower motor. I'd never buy anything like that. Buy real equipment, you know, all the troll stuff that I get when I talk about Chinese equipment. But what I can say is, for $3,000 that I paid for it, I've made my money back multiple times around. And as a small business owner, you're just looking at things like your return on investment, right? This investment has already made me money, saved me time, which gives me the ability to work other jobs sooner, which then makes me more money. So at this point, if this thing stopped working today, I'm already in the positive by loads. But I don't think it's going to, because it starts on this first pull every single time. And if anything goes wrong with the motor, it's a pretty simple Honda Chinese clone motor that you can pretty much buy from any Harbor Freight. All the hydraulics are your hydraulic lines that you can purchase from like Rule King. So nothing on it is going to be that hard to repair. And yeah, I mean, I'm happy with it. Like I said, it's made my money back. I do want to show you one quick thing that I added to it. And yeah, other than that, guys, that's really about it. All right, so the only thing that I have added to this is this little oil change drain because, you know, as with most of your little Honda clone motors like this, the oil drains right here. And as you can see, it drains right on top of the engine stand, which is kind of a crappy situation. It ends up all over the driveway, the yard, wherever. These things are about 20 bucks. They're really nice. You can put an oil pan right underneath it. Just tuck it up right into here. And yeah, I didn't show you the inside of this. So you do have a fan right there to help keep the hydraulic fluid cool. It is obviously an air-cooled motor, but yeah, here's some of the inside hydraulic lines. As you can see, they're all just your basic US standard hydraulic lines that you can get from pretty much anywhere. All right, so with that said, if this video helped you, if you found it entertaining, you gained something from it, I would love it if you'd hit that like button. That like button is all that matters to me in this world. Hit that like button for me. And if you want, hit that subscribe button. That way you can check out some of my other upcoming videos. And last but definitely not least, make sure you hustle every single day. Make that money. Don't sit around. Don't be lazy. Be a productive member of society. You guys, you have a good one. Till next time, take it easy.